The Samsung Galaxy S21 FE is clearly still an amazing phone that I would recommend every single person to buy. It may not be the best phone in the world, but it's still a solid option, and I know a lot of people who personally own this phone that still use it on an everyday basis, which is awesome. So, like I said, maybe it wouldn't be the first phone I'd recommend people to buy, but it's still a very, very good phone that I would honestly not be, surprised if you still wanted to go and pick it up. Now on the outside of this phone, we are getting that 6.4-inch dynamic AMOLED display, 120Hz panel. It looks very, very good, and I'm a big fan of the way this phone has pretty much been performing for the last, X amount of years, or last X years. It's been like a year and a half since this phone came out. Hole punch display looks very good, not too much to complain about here. USB Type-C port on the bottom. We are getting this aluminum siding on the phone, the aluminum frame, but we're getting a plastic back. So it definitely doesn't feel like the most premium thing in the world on the back, but the aluminum frame does give it a little bit of a better feeling. So I do think that's kind of a nice touch, at least going on with this type of device. We're getting that triple camera setup, IP certification, we're getting wireless charging and reverse wireless charging. So there is still a lot of stuff to love about this phone, which is really cool. Again, maybe it's not the most perfect phone in the world, but I think Samsung did a really good job here. And I'm a really big fan of the way this phone has been performing and holding up for at least the last year and a half this phone has been out. Now, in terms of the cameras, still having that triple camera setup on the back, wide ultra-wide telephoto lens, still a very, very good sensor, good quality sensor for the most part, which is always nice. So with this type of camera, 4K at 60 on the front, 4K at 60 on the back, and it's an overall pretty good lens. Again, there's really not too much to complain about here. And if you're using this phone on an everyday basis, you're going to be in really, really good hands, which is awesome. Now, in terms of the software, this phone is rocking One UI, which is nice. One UI is a really good version of software. However, we really don't know how much longer this version of software is going to last on this type of device. It's going to be getting Android 14 probably, but it's probably going to end off on Android 14. So I'd probably say this phone has another year of having software updates. So it's just one of those sad things that happen. I don't think it's the end of the world or anything, but it is just one of those other minor things to keep in mind in the back of your head. So it is what it is. There's not much we can do about it, but just kind of remember that as we're kind of moving forward. Performance-wise, we do have that, Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 chipset inside of it, which is a pretty good chipset inside. It's definitely not a bad chipset. It was a very, very decent chipset that came out in 2021. And the fact that this one is just an addition to it, it's kind of a better version of it, but not really. That's honestly something that's really cool. We have 6 gigs of RAM on the base model. It does go up to 8 gigs of RAM. And I will say the performance of this phone is still very, very good. It's not like we have some sort of weird it's not like we have it's not like we have very bad performance on this phone. This chipset is still about the same thing as what it was on the S21, which was the flagship. So I think with this type of device, it is a very, very good performing phone for the most part, and you really don't have too much to complain about here in my opinion. But this does take me into the last bit of this video, which is, would I recommend buying the S21 FE? And the answer to that is yes, I would recommend buying it, but I don't know if this would be the first phone I would recommend people to buy. I think a phone like the Galaxy S21, which is pretty much even the same exact price as this thing is in the used market, you're much better off buying a phone like that over the S21 FE, because the S21 is the main flagship. That is, the FE is the cheaper version of the S21. So you're much better off buying something like an S21 or an S21 Plus rather than buying an S21 FE, because the FE is just the cheaper model and it's cutting corners of the S21. And now that they're the same price, you might as well go for the S21 in the used market rather than buying a used S21 FE, or even especially buying a brand new S21 FE. So that pretty much covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.